Hello everybody, Conspiracy Carl here. It's Friday the 17th of November. It's about 20 past 1 in the morning. I had to make this video and I found the need and the urge to make this tonight because there's quite a lot of things that I've just seen on the internet, and I'm joining my dots as I normally do, as I hope that most of you truthers do, and this is how we come through and find the truth. We may not get it all 100% right all of the time, but I can assure you that we do get the majority right. I wanted to start tonight's subject, or this morning's subject, on human slaves. There's a thing that I saw on YouTube. I don't want to mention anybody else's name. Somebody Mount, and he was saying about human slaves and the people getting used as modern day slavery. I just wanted to say that they're bringing out what I can see, all these Hollywood actors and people like that, names that a lot of us have grown up with, and showing children, our children films of these stars being in these films, and now we're sort of learning that they probably weren't the decent people that we thought we were when we were showing our children or family, whatever, these films. Anyway, it's coming to light that a lot of these people are paedophiles, child sex offenders, whatever you want to call them, nonces. Sorry, I can't hold or mince words with this sort of depravity. It's just not right. Anyway, I wanted to say about, I believe their reasoning for doing this and pulling out all these Hollywood stars is so they're not leaving any stone uncovered, and I believe that what they're going to do, and this is my honest belief, it's a gut feeling, that what they're going to do is they've got rid of people like Jimmy Savile, long gone, buried, but what he done has never ever been forgotten. And then you've got people like Rolf Harris. He's going to be slowly sort of swept under the carpet and just let to get on with his life. And after what he done, along with Jimmy Savile, along with certain members of royalty, yeah, this might end up with an hole in the head, but I don't really give a toss. Anyway, I just want to get this out, right? So, I believe, right, in the human advances in robots and cloning, I believe what they're going to do is they're going to say that this perversion of children, this sickening act of young children and what they do with these young children, they're going to blame on a Hollywood sort of role, if you like, when you're born into stardom and you're brought up that way, and you're then put on the acting couch to perform in your first film, and you're sat along other line of children, boys and girls, whatever, all trying to get this job. And obviously the director comes out and says, calls you in one at a time and only leaves you with that choice. If you don't do it, there's one out there that will. And this is carried on from the early 1900s up until today. Now, my belief for them pulling out all these paedophiles, nonces, sex offenders fucking kiddie fiddlers, whatever you want. I'm sorry, this angers me so much. But what they're trying to do, I believe, is they're trying to normalise it by saying that this has gone on for, you know, over 100 years or whatever of Hollywood, and this is how it's gone on. So these stars today can't be really blamed for their actions because they were forced into doing what they were doing, or coerced, because it happened before, and this was a chain reaction. So they're trying to normalise it, so that they're bringing out all this so-called 7,500 new paedophiles from the Hollywood sort of area, or from around that sort of, you know, stream of people. They're bringing out these new 7,500 new names of sex offenders, and I believe that there's a reason for this, and I believe the reason for this is, like I say, they're going to try and normalise it. They're going to try and say that this only went on because of, you know, it went on years and years before that. So it was a thing that when we couldn't list it out because the people above us, they would have, you know, we never would have got acting careers. We never would have been the people we was, and things like this. You know, they're going to use this because I honestly believe that if they brought out all these paedophiles in these massive numbers, they're not going to send them all to prison. No way. And if they do go to a prison, it's not going to be a prison like you and I have to go to, or anybody else that's of normal upbringing. You have to be a privileged, masonry high up child to avoid prison sentences, and this is what they do. They all look after each other. So anyway, what I wanted to say anyway is basically that I believe that they're doing this and bring them out all in massive numbers, so they don't have to hand out harsh sentences for each and every one that's brought up every couple of months. So doing it in a mass number, they can say, right, okay, a lot of them will get, God, you know, the God only knows, and I pray that He's harsh on these people. I really do, because I believe this is all one big worked out, not conspiracy, worked out destruction of humanity. And anyway, what I believe is going to happen is they're going to give all these stars, so-called stars, stars, oh God, they're going to give them immunity in some sort of way, and then the cloning is going to come out. If for people who still don't believe in cloning, just Google it, and just put human cloning and in Google, and you'll see. If you don't believe in it, or you're still a non-believer after you've Googled it, you'll be gobsmacked. Human cloning is very, very real. It has been since the late 40s, I believe, when they perfected cloning. They brought it into the open with Dolly the sheep. That wasn't in the 40s, obviously. That, I believe that was in the 80s. And anyway, Dolly the sheep, she was the first sort of clone that we got to see on telly, you know. But it, like I say, it was a cloning of an animal, but they were cloning humans a long time before this. They don't just start off with sheep or with other animals. Like they start off with humans as well. They do all sorts of experiments, and it's called black projects or whatever you want to call them, but it's under the ground projects anyway. And I believe that they've got to a stage where they can clone or produce these children for these people to vampirize, if you'd like to call it that, because these people believe that having sex with a young child, or having the terror of the young child before it dies, goes into you and somehow makes you younger or stay younger, or I don't know, but You've got to be some twisted, sick, evil motherfucker to even think that, let alone believe it or do it or try it. What the fuck is the matter with some of you people? This is not directed at my audience. This is directed at you know who. You motherfuckers that are doing it. You sick bastards. Anyway, all I can say is what happened to me. And I've had my channel up and running now for nearly a year. But I believe that it's come to the time where I should say something that happened in my life, and I can give you all an honest opinion of what happened to me. For a lot of you that don't know me, this is going to be probably quite a shock. I hope it doesn't scare anybody or upset anybody. If it does, please leave comments and I'll get back to you individually and I'll talk you through it and maybe you'll understand then. Anyway, oh dear, I had a relationship with a girl. We grew up young, sweet lovers, you know. I was 17 and she was like 15, just nearly 16. I waited until obviously she was at the right of age, 16, and before we slept with each other. We were young, we were both in love, and very much in love, and we were with each other for, like I say, over a year and a half before anything materialised like that. There's no perversion or anything like that, you know, even thought about, let alone anything like that. But this is not the reason I'm telling you this story. The reason I'm telling you this story is I went on to have 3 beautiful children with this ex-partner of mine, and my ex-partner, she went off with one of my siblings, my brother, when I was working. I was working a job and I was doing lots and lots of hours. And the weekend, because I used to sometimes do a 6-hour week, on the Sunday I was doing car boots. So in my evenings, through the weekdays, a lot of that was taken up doing stock take, and I was going out collecting textiles, which is clothing for people that don't know. And I was going out collecting clothing, mainly named clothes, obviously, branded, you know, named clothes like Armani, you know, Yves Saint Laurent, all that sort of stuff. And anyway, I was going out collecting it, bringing it back. It was all catalogue send backs, things like that, so it was all brand new, and I was selling it on a Sunday boot sale to make more money, because like I said, I had 3 children and I was trying to support the whole family. So my future wife, as I saw her, so she wouldn't have to work, you know, and I could be the breadwinner. So anyway, I went out and I took on as many hours as I could, and I found that me and my partner, we were arguing somewhat more than what we ever did, you know, before. And she asked me to leave the premises after so many rows and whatnot else as well. I was drinking myself as well, so I can't blame one party fully on this. You know, I have to take some responsibility myself, which I am doing now, live on air, live on air to everybody. I'm telling you the truth. Anyway, so the relationship broke down, but the reason was she told me to leave my house, where, you know, I obviously lived with my children, and at that time I'd brought my brother in to stay, and my brother was living with us for the best part of over half a year, but he'd been living with me on times previously before this, so this wasn't the first time. Anyway, yeah. So basically, what happened was, I was working long hours, as I say. Me and my future wife, we ended up arguing quite a lot, and I got like I say, she told me to leave the house, which I left. And then I found out a couple of days after that my brother was with my partner, that they'd been having an affair, or whatever you want to call it, behind my back for a number of months. So anyway, I walked away. I did do some silly things after, and one of them stupid things was I contemplated suicide. I didn't just contemplate it, I done it. And this is what I'm admitting to all of you out here now. I've had quite a strange life, an exciting life, and I'm not going to end it. I tried to do that, and I'm going to tell you all what happened. I took a massive heroin overdose. I knew that I wouldn't be able to recover from what I took, so I drove out in my car. I went to a secluded area. I injected myself with a drug, and I woke up. This was the strangest thing. I woke up in a mortuary. There was 2 police at the side of me, standing there witnessing my death. And as I sat up, I was on like I don't know what you call it. It was like a steel tray, and it had holes in it everywhere. And I sat up freezing cold. I had a white sheet over me. I sat up freezing cold, pulled the sheet back, and the 2 police were standing there, and they went, whoa, they sort of stepped back, and it was like, we weren't expecting to see you again. And I noticed that there was a doctor. I was naked, obviously, with just this white sheet over me. It was freezing cold, obviously, but I didn't realise I was in a mortuary at the time. And there was a doctor writing my toe tag for time of death and whatnot. And anyway, yeah, the police were quite surprised to see me come back round. They'd give me a number of shots of, I suppose you'd call it like epinephrine or something like that. It was an injection to try and reverse the effects. Anyway, I died for 10 minutes, and now I can honestly tell you all what I saw in them 10 minutes. Nothing. It was like a dream without a dream. It was like going to sleep without a dream. It was blackness, melanine, if you want to call it. It was just there was nothing. I can't remember anything. The only time I can remember is from when I first done it to when I woke up in the morgue, and I just told you what happened. Like I say, in all that time, I remember nothing. Now, I'm not saying that there is no life after death. I'm trying to say that maybe somebody tapped me on the head or something, my soul, and put me back in my body and said, you will not remember this, and you're here for a specific time, which is now, which is why I'm here to tell you this story. Because otherwise I wouldn't be able to die, and I wouldn't be able to join these dots. And you know, I'm never going to stop telling this story, because this story is true, and this is what really happened to me. So anyway, I now stand, I'm rebuilding my life. I'm more than happy on my own. I have a pet cat that I love so much. She really does bring enjoyment and life into my life. I see my daughter from the relationship that I just told you, and I'm happy enough to have a granddaughter now. So if if I was thinking all this time about throwing my life away, I would have missed out on all of this. So I'm grateful for what I have, especially now. You know, time's a great healer. So for all you people out there that feel low or feel down, don't think it's going to stay that way, because it never does. You don't know what's around the corner, and it could be anything, you know, and small little things like what I say about my cat, my pet cat, Lily Fluff. My daughter got me her as a present, because she knew that I was lonely, you know. Like I live on my own, obviously, so she got me this beautiful pet cat, and I love her so much, and I feel that I can have some sort of communication with animals better than what I had when I was younger, probably due to the experience that I went through. Anyway, this is all leading to one thing. I just want to tell you all, listen, we all have one life while we're here on this plane, okay? So don't destroy it. Don't do anything bad. I don't mean don't do anything bad. I don't say don't touch drugs or whatever or anything like that. We all experiment. We all do things of our life that sometimes we regret later. This is part of our learning curve. So it's an important part of our growing up. Otherwise, without this learning curve, you probably wouldn't be here now, and I know that I wouldn't. So, you know, this sometimes as painful as these learning processes can be, we're here for a reason, and this is the reason why I believe that if the world is going to end very soon, or World War III is going to kick off and everything's going to get annihilated, I don't believe that I would have been given the chance to come back into my body and to be back here and to be making videos and to be talking to people. Okay, my subscriptions might be low, but I've still got 36 subscribers now, so thank you for each 36 of you. Thank you so much. Please give me likes up on my videos, because I didn't know this before, but I found this out the other day. Apparently when you get likes on your videos, that means your video gets sort of promoted more, or so more people get to see it, and that's really my goal. As you've noticed, I don't use advertising of any sort, so therefore I'm not in it for the monetary gain. I'm in it just to help, and that's the reason why I am here. So this is my reasoning for, I believe, being brought back from, like I say, death's doorstep or whatever. Whether my memory is wiped when I was put back in my body, I don't know. I really don't know. All I can say to you is what I can remember, and it was, like I say, like a dream, like going to sleep without a dream, just black ending. So what I'm trying to say is one important message. Please, 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 all of you, try and live your life by this, okay? If you don't do wrong in your life and you don't do bad, then if there is anything after, you know, a life here, which I still believe there is, like I say, I think my memory was wiped and I was put back in my body to be here for now, to be able to do these videos, to be able to talk to people, to be able to give people some knowledge of what I've lived through. Because believe you me, I've searched for all different religions, Satanism included. I've read on Anton LaVey's work, you know, I don't want to go into the religious sort of aspect of it. What I would just want to say is listen, I don't believe we're all going to get annihilated for 1 second, okay? Even if they have these robots that are going to take our jobs or whatever, okay? They might need to depopulate or whatever they want to call it, but they're still going to need people to make the metal. They're going to need people to dig, you know, there's always people involved, okay? So robots can't make robots that can't make AI robots that can't make higher intelligence. What I'm trying to say is humans always come into this factor, whether it's programming or whether it's mining for materials. Okay, some people might say, yeah, but you can go researchers robots and mine for materials. Where are they? Why are they doing it now? Why are they still using humans? Think about that. Okay. So anyway, they can't just convert straight over. So please, all of you, don't worry about this World War III thing. We are all here as survivors, okay? And survive is what we do as humans. This is why I believe that not the elite, because it's the elite that control everything, the puppet masters, the Hollywood people that I was just telling you about. This is why I believe that they'll be given another chance as well, because clones and things like that, cloned children would not have the same rights as a human being. Therefore, they can have these young child clones. They can do whatever they want. That poor clone child that some people say that clones don't have souls. Well, they certainly have feelings. They certainly cry. They certainly scream. From research I've done. So, you know, these people with these sexual depravities or illnesses or whatever you want to call it, I call it more satanic sort of stuff, because this Saturn, so when I say satanic, it's Saturn worship. It goes back God knows how many years. All religions go for the square. They all follow the square. The square is at the bottom of Saturn. Saturn, Satan, it's all the same thing. It's all connected. Please, don't ask me to explain it. I do that in some of my other videos. But all these religions are tied. They're all wrote to make us have this conquer, divide, ready for this big third world finale and the so-called second coming. As we've all realised, we're all at the ends of the Bibles, no matter what religion you believe in. We're all right at the end of the Bibles of each Bible of each different religion. So we are very close to something, so we are very close to a change, but please don't take it as an end, a literal end. I don't believe it is an end. I believe it's a start of something new, not a total end. It's an end of an old era and a start of something new, and that's how I perceive it. And I hope that my honesty of my life helps some of you to understand the future that we all might be going down, and I pray that it's the way that I believe that it is. But I do have this gut yearning that's telling me that what I'm saying to you is right. So I'm gonna stick with that. Anyway, if nukes were dropped everywhere, it'd be so quick you wouldn't even know about it. You honestly wouldn't. So there's no point in worrying. Okay, and like I say, I believe that would be the last thing they'd do, because then they've got to clean up all that devastation. Sooner or later, they've got to come up from underground, yeah. And I think how long it's taken Chernobyl, yeah, to heal up, and they're still not going nowhere near it. Now, okay, a lot of you are going to say, okay, what about Fukushima? We're still eating fish from the sea that are near there. Yes, we are, because this is part of their culling, if you like. So we have to all watch what we eat, all watch what we do, and especially take, ingest, digest. Sometimes I'm thinking the vegan recipe is probably better, but then I realised that the chemtrails, or cloud seeding, or whatever you want to call it, and the devastation that they're causing to crops, to trees, to food, and it's disgusting. It really is. So I just wanted to say that basically, this isn't the end. It's definitely not the end. It's the end of an era and the start of a new era. Okay, and this is what the Mayans believed in as well. If you look into the Mayan philosophy, when people thought about 2012 and it would be the end of the world and all that, it didn't happen, did it? It was the end of an old age and the start of a new age, the Aquarius age, I believe, which is, again, all goes back to stars, astrology. In one of my first videos, I mentioned a book called Planetary Emotions. I am going to read out that book in the next few episodes coming up. I'm going to take time out and read this book out to you all. It might take 2 or 3 episodes, but I'm sure you'll all enjoy it, and it will give you all the knowledge that I have, and the others. Yeah. So anyway, please stick with me and stay with me. Try and get other people to join, because I really want to get this truth out to as many people as possible. I don't want to make it a small minority of people, which the government agencies can control and get rid of quite easily, so then all this information is lost. But please, if you've got any family and friends that do believe in truthers, that do believe in the information that I've spoke about, and not just me, many others, please get them to subscribe. If you want to give me a like, brilliant. If you want to give me a thumbs down, just as good. At least it tells me that people are listening. So please, 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 I'm asking you as my subscribers to help me to get heard, please, if you can. And I can only then give out as much information as possible, so I want to give out to as many people as possible. Obviously, I'm fighting for the gods of good. You may call him Jesus, Yahweh. Yahweh was Yeshua's father. Yeshua was Jesus' name was Yeshua. Yahweh was Yeshua's father, so Jesus' father was Yahweh. Anyway, yeah, so going back to this, there's lots of, obviously, angels and gods, and I'm not saying they don't exist. I'm just saying that the ones I was brought up as a child, I'm just mentioning their names. The other ones I'd rather not delve into, because they're ones that I actually grew up learning and not being too impressed about because of what I read, hence the satanic stuff that I spoke to you about. Anyway, I hope this conversation hasn't been too deep and disturbing, because that's not meant, it's not meant to be like this. This is meant to be disclosure and what I believe is going to happen, and what I honestly believe is going to happen is what I've told you. This is how I think they're going to normalise things. I so hope that I'm wrong. I so hope that these people get punished for their acts of sexual depravity, paedophiles, nonces, sex offenders, whatever you want to call them. Me, myself, having children, and if you have children, you know what I mean. So you're not going to want these people to get off lightly. But this is the reason why I believe they're going to try and bring out cloning. So this way, clones don't have the same rights as humans. Therefore, they can do whatever they fucking want and get away with it, basically. So it is going to call for an uprise of people. We need a big awakening. Please, people, try waking up your friends, try waking up your family. I've done nearly 3 to 4 years of constant ear bashing into my family's ears to slowly wake them up, and they are waking up, because now they're starting to recognise as what I said to them 3 to 4 years ago is all coming true. I'm not being gluttonous or anything, or trying to say, oh, I'm right, you know, you're wrong and all this crap, because that's just pathetic. That really is stupid. We're all here to help one another. So if there is any advice that any of you know out there that could please correct me or help me, then please put it, and I'll gladly, you know, discuss with you, because we all need to be here for one another. As I always say, unite, don't fight. Right, we're all the same underneath this. This is just a housing, you know, it's nothing. It's what's inside, you know, what's inside of us. We're all the same. We're all that same energy. So don't ever forget that, please. Okay? Remember, it doesn't matter what's on the outside, it's what's on the inside. And if that's love, then you're following the right path. Anyway, like I say, love, peace, unity goes out to all of you. Please unite, don't fight. We can do this in an orderly, humanitarian fashion, rather than an orderly fashion. Yeah, don't need this order out of chaos crap. There's enough chaos in the world as it is about them bastards stirring it up. So anyway, please remember that, and try and wake up tomorrow when you go out in the world. Try smiling for a whole day at people and just see how your day goes. Just look at people and smile throughout the whole day. Anybody that makes eye contact with you, smile, okay? And at the end of the day, yeah, you see how your day goes, and you'll see exactly what I mean. And you probably want to spend the rest of your life smiling, because to feel love inside and to be able to project love, pure love, and to be able to feel it from other people and absorb it, there's no better feeling. And to feel this with animals as well, wow, that's truly amazing. And like when I say, we've all got a connection. Anything with a soul. This is why I became vegetarian as well, because I realised that animals have souls. I had a few different pets, and they've all been different. Each and every single one, they've all been different. All had their own personality, which says, you know, we all have souls. This is the vessel. This dies. The rest carries on. Anyway, love, peace, unity goes out to all of you. Conspiracy Carl, please give me a like. Love you. Good night. I'll speak to you tomorrow. Goodbye.